Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and to another reaction video. Okay, today we are going to be checking out the latest DLC character trailer for SNK's City of the Wolves Fatal Fury. Now, this trailer just was released. Currently, the SNK World Championship is going on at DreamHack in Atlanta. So they have championship events happening for multiple of their game titles, including City of the Wolves, but also Samurai Showdown, King of Fighters 15. So really cool event. If you're interested in checking any of that out, there's a bunch of streams going on for the next couple of days. It continues over the weekend. It's happening at DreamHack Atlanta. So Twitch and YouTube, you can definitely check those out if you're interested. But exciting news today! They also released the official gameplay trailer for Chun-Li! And if you guys know anything about me and my history with fighting games, I've been playing Street Fighter games since I was a very little child, and Chun-Li has been my main in every Street Fighter game that I have ever played, including currently in Street Fighter 6. So I am super excited to see how she translates over into Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. We already had Ken Masters from Street Fighter 6 added as a DLC character for Fatal Fury earlier in the year. And then, as kind of a trade, Street Fighter 6 currently has Terry and Mai as DLC characters. And Mai in particular, you know, I think she's quite awesome in Street Fighter 6. I'm a big fan of the way they translated her over to that game. So I'm very curious to see how the reverse is going to happen here, how they're going to translate Chun-Li over into the Fatal Fury style, both artistically and in terms of gameplay. So I've been waiting to see this for a while, ever since she was announced. Waited through multiple other DLC characters. This is the one I was, of course, the most excited about. So I can't wait to check out this trailer. Let's get into it together. Let's see what Chun-Li looks like in Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Here we go. There she is. She's got her Street Fighter 6 outfit. Oh, we're gonna have to go against Mai.
Did I scare you?
As it should be.
Hardly.
She
now
caught my span
and disappear. Are you ready to find out who the true Queen of Fighters is?
Ooh.
Sure. Try
Who's your
not to
queen?
cry when they give me the crown.
They did the thing. They did the thing. All right, chest to chest. It's a classic SNK versus Capcom thing. Here's my Chun-Li. Oh. Okay. Okay. Headshot kicks, right? Oh, so many of these moves are directly out of Street Fighter 6. Nice, nice. Ooh. The spinny bird kick is so fast. Nice, nice, nice. Ooh, long.
Time to show you some real kung fu. I'm ready whenever you're ready.
There's some of her messages.
Just say the word and we can hit the bricks.
Nice, nice, nice. Are we gonna see? Yes, there's the classic costume. For classic costume. Woo!
Fatal Fury. City of the Wolves.
Now, do we actually have a release date? No, just winter 2025. Okay, so still no official release date. But there is all of our DLC characters. So as they showed at the end there's the first season pass of DLC characters, and it is Andy, who's currently available, Ken Masters from Street Fighter 6, currently available, Joe Higashi, who was very recently released, and I have a couple videos up about, currently available, Chun-Li, Winter, so I'm gonna assume she's coming quite soon, and then early 2026, the last character in the DLC pass is Mr. Big from The Art of Fighting. Now, you should keep in mind, if you don't own Fatal Fury City of the Wolves yet, this Season 1 pass and these DLC characters comes free if you just buy the base game. So that's a kind of unheard of thing. Doesn't really happen anymore in fighting games to get an entire DLC pack with 5 characters free just for buying the base game. So if you don't own it yet, good time to pick it up, especially with Chun coming out soon. Okay, so talking a little bit about Chun-Li. First of all, she looks amazing. She looks beautiful. We've got her classic costume, which I'm super happy about. And we also have her Street Fighter 6 costume, which did translate over quite well. Makes sense that they did this. Of course, they also translated Mai over to Street Fighter 6 with her updated costume that debuted here in City of the Wolves. So I like that they did that. Of course, they had her going up against Mai, as is appropriate. The two of them, these characters have a long history, again, as kind of the female faces of their franchises. And some might argue not even just the franchises, but of the fighting games in total for those specific developers. And in the beginning intros, they do this little pose where they go chest to chest. If you don't know, I'm sure it will be all over Twitter and some places on YouTube too, since once everybody gets a chance to look at this trailer. But if you don't know, this is a historical piece of art from SNK versus Capcom. Was the two of these characters chest to chest, right up against each other in each other's faces. So they did a little throwback to that, which was very cool. But the thing that really stood out the most to me was Chun-Li's move set and how one-on-one translation a lot of it is from Street Fighter 6 specifically. So this is specifically the Street Fighter 6 version of Chun-Li that is coming through, even though we do have like her classic costume, and of course a lot of these moves for Chun-Li are legacy across multiple games, but so yes, like her spinning bird kick, obviously, Kikosho, all of that, the lightning legs are legacy moves that you will expect to see Chun-Li using and doing in any game that she's in. Wouldn't be complete without her having those moves, right? They're some of her most significant, important moves. But beyond that, if you look at the very specific animations, the way that she's animated here, as well as her normals, how the normals are animated here, um, these are moves directly from Street Fighter 6. Even I see a couple of things I saw, like one of the overheads looks like one of her stance moves from Street Fighter 6 even. So, and of course even her air jumps are directly translated. The animations are one on one, just direct. So it's a honestly more directly 1v1 than I could have expected. And really impressively so. Now, my curiosity comes in with how exactly she's going to play. Because it looks like very similar to Street Fighter 6, except without the Street Fighter 6 mechanics, of course. And faster, because the pace of this game is somewhat faster than Street Fighter 6 gameplay pace. So it looks like she's moving a little faster. But if you guys know about Chun-Li as a character, traditionally she is a charge character. So for her, a lot of her moves, including the standing bird kick, spinning bird kick, excuse me, you have to actually charge those moves in order to get them to work. And that's one of the reasons that Chun-Li, a lot of people sometimes find her to be more complicated than some other characters. I'm wondering if they're going to try to add that element to this game. Will she be required to charge her moves or not? And like I would think maybe not, but I guess we're gonna have to wait and see and what people think about that. In addition, like I said, I thought I saw one of her moves that is a stance move that she has in Street Fighter 6. Are they gonna try to incorporate a stance, or are they just thinking this particular animation looked cool, so we're bringing that over, but we're not gonna incorporate this difficult stance thing from Street Fighter 6? So these are actual like questions I have that you wouldn't be able to necessarily say until you get your hands on her personally. And some people are getting to play her today, I believe, at DreamHack. So she gets some answers to those questions fairly quickly, I imagine, but does leave me a bit curious about it. And then the other thing that I'm noticing that I'm not seeing here is other than like within super animations, and her Kikoshi, I'm not seeing her fireballs. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything because Joe also, you didn't really see much usage of his very famous fireballs in his trailer. And everybody was wondering, is that going to be actually in the game? Are they doing without it? But no, he has them. It just was not being shown off in the trailer for whatever particular gameplay design trailer they wanted. So I'm gonna assume that she does have her fireballs too, but then again, that is also another charge move situation. So very curious. We'll have to actually see her move list and how she plays before we can make any sort of complete conclusion on that, I suppose. But just visually, in terms of how they translated her from Street Fighter 6 over to Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, fantastic job. She looks amazing. She's my Queen Chun. So I want to know from you guys in this Queen of Fighters, King of Fighters, you get it. In this Queen of Fighters battle, who do you vote for, Chun-Li or Mai Shiranui? Who do you think it is? Who's your Queen of Fighters between the two? Or if you have a different Queen of Fighters from fighting games, who is yours? You tell me that. Tell me in the comments. But all right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up here. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments if you're going to play Chun-Li, if you're excited with what you see here, and like I said, who's your queen? Thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.